Okay.
Uh,
How we darn. What's poppin', people? We see ya. What's up, Macy? What's up? Yeah, we'll have to talk about Luke Shoemaker. Yeah,
Shoemaker.
we'll have to talk about him a little bit. Braden, that is a good question. We're going to talk about this rookie draft here in a second and just talk about what today means for 2023 Dynasty rookie drafts. What's up, Daniel? What's up, Good Times? What's up, Francisco? What's up, JT? What's up, Laster? What's up, Jamar? What's up, R1? A lot of things that we need to talk about. Jamar says, who wants all my second rounders? Okay.
Yeah, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Let's get to this just really quick. Okay, firstly, I think today is a very, 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 very bad day for picks 110 and honestly the entire second round. I don't know if I'm undervaluing what's just happened and maybe it's too fresh and I need to give it some time, but I really think the 110 all the way to the 212 feels like it took a massive, massive L today. And the players that we really liked based off of film, they didn't get the capital that we wanted. Some players like, Devin A-Chain went in the third round. I love Devin A-Chain. I've been defending him on this channel, but it's still into the third round. Tajay Spears went, but to the Titans, and there was this report about him having no ACL and arthritis.
Basically arthritis.
And they're not sure how long he's going to play, but he was a third-round pick.
That was literally the report. It was like, oh, he has no ACL, arthritis. We're not sure he's long going to play, so let's see what happens.
Which is weird. Like, you would think they would have some sort of medical clearance to take him in the third round over these other running backs.
I don't know, man. It just... I'll definitely talk about him a little bit later. Thank you so much, B-Ball, for the sub. But we definitely talk about him a little bit later, especially in the video. I'm going to bring him in a video and bring my opinions on that. Yeah, I would agree with you,
the running back spots weren't very good. I mean, if we look at Zach Charbonnet, I have no idea what the Seahawks were thinking. I mean, you and I talked about this. When the pick happened, we were like, what the hell is this? Like, there was no reason for anyone to be worried about Kenneth Walker heading into day 2, right? Just came off an incredible year 1. Looks like a legit top 5 to 10 running back in the NFL, as well as in fantasy football. They just drafted him in the top, 40 picks last year? He was an early second round. And they go out and draft Zach Charbonnet, who isn't like this complimentary running back. This is almost the same type of running back in the NFL.
Yeah, 100%. My initial thought is that this could either be a 50-50 workload or some sort of rotation right now. And we were looking into it. Kenneth Walker, if you look it up, Kenneth Walker was drafted with the 41st pick in the second round of last year, NFL draft last year. And Zach Charbonnet was taken with the 52nd pick, so 10 picks later.
11, yeah, to be
11
precise.
picks later, Zach Charbonnet was taken in the same round. Does it make sense? It feels like a rotation right now. Like my gut feeling, it's a rotation.
It's so strange because you think about Ken Walker and you're like, Ken Walker is so damn good. How is he going to be in a split? Well, Zach Charbonnet is so damn good. And they both went in the second round. They both were drafted highly by this team. Like, they don't complement each other really at all, in my opinion. They are very similar running backs. Obviously, different strengths and weaknesses, but
yeah,
I don't know.
I
hate
don't think it's going to be a compliment. I think it's just going to be, we got two bulldozers, and no matter what, we're going to be run the ball down your throat.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's Pete Carroll's mindset right now. At least that's the way I'm picturing this pick.
Yeah. Someone reached out on Twitter and they're like, man, I should have sold Ken Walker high. And they were like, I'm just kidding. But at the end of the day, like, think about it. There was literally no sign. There was no rhyme or reason to have done that. Like, people can say right now, oh yeah, you should have sold him. but I don't think that they would have had that belief before today. There was no rhyme or reason. There was no inkling. There was Ken Walker's doesn't have any serious injuries. He didn't underperform. He overperformed. Good capital. I mean, you know, it's like, what the heck? No one saw this coming. So that sucks. That hurts the back end of the first round, no doubt. Rashee Rice going to the Chiefs. You know, keep in mind that Sky Moore was drafted one pick ahead of Rashee Rice this time last year. Will Rashee Rice be able to separate himself in that receiving room? I don't know. Maybe. I think Rashee Rice could end up being overdrafted, but you can't just ignore him because he did get second round capital. Marvin Mims ends up going to the Broncos.
They traded up for him.
Jaden Reed ends up going to the Packers a lot earlier than I anticipated, and a lot of you probably anticipated. Jonathan Mingo.
That's good.
I have a feeling Jonathan Mingo is going to end up being one of my, like, I think he might be my 112 or something at this point. I can't wrap my head around exactly where to put him, but at this moment, I think he's my 112.
He's up there. I mean, great draft capital. If I'm not mistaken, they stayed put, the Panthers, but they stayed put. They picked up Jonathan Mingo, a young wide receiver, to grow with Bryce Young in the second round. And I'm not really worried about who's there. Adam Thielen, Laviska Shenault, Terrace Marshall. You know, Jonathan Mingo has the best draft capital out of all those guys outside of Terrace Marshall. And I think he still has better capital than Terrace off the top of my head. I don't know, but you know, I think that is a good landing spot for him.
Yeah,
I can even look that up right now. Let's see.
So Jonathan Mingo, I mean, I still think I'm going Zach Charbonnet, but you have to ask a very serious question there. Like, Zach Charbonnet or Jonathan Mingo, I really don't know the answer at this very point. I'm going to have to sit down and really look at these rookie rankings tonight and make some very difficult decisions. But overall, I just think this second round, to me, really destroyed. Like, if you have the 110 to the 212, I'm sorry, but like, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good at all. And there's still players that I like, but the value does not look like it's there compared to what we had last year.
This is what I would say about the fourth round. Running backs that are still available in a fantasy perspective that can still go to a team. Like, let me rephrase that. The fourth round, I think, is going to be very crucial for the running back room specifically, because there are still teams that need running back and haven't drafted a running back that are still out there. In the teams you can think of, right? I mean, the Cardinals still need a running back in our eyes, right? The Chargers could could draft. Cardinals, the Chargers, the Cowboys, the Rams can get one. The Bears can get one. The Chiefs could get one still in the fourth round. We can even talk about the Patriots. There's still a lot of teams here that could draft a running back in the fourth round. We just weren't expecting these guys to get fourth round. Some of these guys to fall into the fourth round capital. And mind you, Roscoe's still out there. Chase Brown, Izzy, Sean Tucker, Zach Evans.
Yeah.
You know, there are some people out there that can still get fourth round capital, land in a good spot. And then the second round is kind of back to life.
I would say then the second round becomes a better dart throw, but I don't think the second round looks good this year at all. And I can fourth round picks typically aren't things that I rely on. So
exactly, it's not sexy because we always say, you know, you better sell your fourth round. You better sell your fourth, running back that was drafted in the fourth round. That's what I meant to say.
I'm just going to do like quick fire analysis on these picks real quick, and then we'll get to a draft, okay? Will Levis brings him back to life in the first round, I would say. Sam Laporta definitely makes him intriguing in the second round. Michael Mayer as well. I still prefer Mayer in this scenario. Both are intriguing. Jonathan Mingo with the capital, with him going to a team that has no clear wide receiver one and Bryce Young, you have to consider him back into the first round. Luke Musgrave becomes a great second round option. The tight ends were definitely winners today. Jaden Reed, I still don't love this prospect, so maybe he will be overdrafted. I don't know where I stand on him. Rashee Rice, don't love the prospect, love the landing spot, but again, I'm not going to just say I'm all in on Rashee Rice and he should be a first round pick because that's the wrong process to go about it. We should have learned our lesson last year with Sky Moore. Marvin Mims, Good capital in the second round goes to the Broncos. Interesting, like worth a dart throw in the second round. Again, these are all dart throws though into the third round, where we have Hendon Hooker, again, worthy of a dart throw. Maybe Tank Dell, worthy of a dart throw. Kendre Miller, I feel great about this landing spot the more I think about it. Jamal Williams is there, but Jamal Williams is aging, and it's quite clear they're going to move on from Alvin Kamara at some point. He just had his worst season analytically, and there's some issues legally, so it feels like they will be moving on. I like that landing spot. Jalen Hyatt to your Giants. You said, okay, in the third round, this isn't so bad. Cedric Tillman to the Browns. Okay, maybe the wide receiver 3. I don't know. Tucker Kraft. Okay, cool. We got a great tight end class. And 2 tight ends went to the same team. Thank you so much.
That's right.
Josh Downs. Great, but goes to a team that probably won't be a high passing volume team and doesn't get the capital that we want. Tajay Spears. Okay, this is interesting. Goes to the Titans. Maybe they move on from Derek. Well, guess what? We just got a report that he has no ACL and that he has arthritis. What the how is that coming out draft day? Devin A-Chain. Anybody out there, want to say they're in on A-Chain now? I'll let you guys in. But this feels like the best second round pick right now that you could point to. Outside of that, Tank Bigsby, clearly a role player. If you thought that JaMychal Hasty was going to be the running back 2 in Jacksonville, like, I don't know what to tell you. That was never going to happen. But yeah, like a dart throw again, Darnell Washington, probably not someone that should even go in the second round. One of my favorite picks outside of Devin A-Chain on day 2, Michael Wilson to the Cardinals. Really love this pick, hoping that DeAndre Hopkins moves on. But outside of that, man, like not a lot of exciting stuff to talk about. Anything you want to just quickly talk about before we go on to this mock draft?
No, I think you kind of hit it on the head. I think it really depends on. I don't know. I think there's not much to really talk about here. I would agree on one thing. I like Michael Wilson's landing spot, like you said. Probably one of my favorite third round picks, I would say. I would say the favorite third round pick for fantasy perspective is Michael Wilson to the Cardinals.
Mine would be probably Devin, Kendre, and then Michael Wilson, but I'm with you. He's up there.
Yeah. Well, Devin went the second. So
no, he didn't.
Did he go? Oh, okay. I mean, maybe I'm tripping.
You're tripping, bro. You are tripping.
Okay. I am tripping.
So, anyway, guys, we're doing some rookie mock drafts today. And you guys were incredible yesterday. Thank you so much for the love, for the support. We got like 380 likes on a live stream while it was happening. Now we have over 500 on that live stream from yesterday. So thank you so much for hanging out with us. Can you do us a massive favor? Over 300 people watching. Can you smash that like button for us? Let's go ahead and try and beat that like goal that we set yesterday. Can we go back to back smashing like records? Do us a favor. 300 people, hit that like button. If we get 300 likes, we will guarantee and do 4 mock drafts for you guys right here, right now. So go ahead and hit that like button to show some love. Subscribe if you like Dynasty content, because clearly if you're up at almost midnight or whatever it is over there, you like Dynasty content, so you're in the right space. And the last thing that I will say before we get to this is if you want some Dynasty rankings, articles, bonus content, if you want us to grade your Dynasty team, if you want access to the Fantasy Hotline, our Dynasty Trade Show, go ahead and use our code LAND, L-A-N-D, when signing up at flockfantasy.com. I'll actually give you a direct link in the chat right now, flockfantasy.com/land. If you use our code, you get 30% off your membership. And then DM us on Discord so we can hook you up with some of your perks. But Badake, if people want to join today's mock draft, how can they go about doing so?
That's right. Join our Discord. Link in the description. A link is going to be in the chat here very soon. Go to Fantasyland tab with the orange footballs. Go to content releases, and that's exactly how you can join this mock draft. Once again, join the link in the description. Link in the chat as well. Go to the Fantasyland tab. Go to content releases, and that's exactly where I'll be posting the link to this mock draft here. And I'll be sending the link out here in 3, 2. There you go. That is the link to this mock draft. And if you don't get in now, it's okay. We're going to be doing hopefully multiple ones today if we hit our goal.
Dude, let's start this in a second, but genuinely, I think this is actually one of the worst second rounds and I didn't expect it, but this is one of the worst second rounds I think I can remember in a long time.
This is what I would say. I was saying,
I mean, we had someone who commented and said that they might take Tank Dell at the end of the first. Think about that. John Mechie was drafted ahead of Tank Dell in last year's class, and he was at the end of the second round. I don't know, dude. This is rough.
I hear you. I think, and I said this before. I've said this multiple times. The fourth round picks are going to be crucial. You know, I said third, fourth round guys that maybe didn't get the capital. Yeah, in the NFL draft, that maybe they didn't get the capital that we were expecting, but goes to a decent team. That's exactly that is going to be like, oh, I'm going to have to get a fourth round guy maybe in the mid second, because there's no one else.
Yeah.
There's no one else ahead of those people, excuse me. So like tomorrow, if Chase Brown goes to the Eagles, or if Izzy goes to the Eagles, that's going to be an early second round pick. Like a mid to early second round pick, just based off of all this other bad landing
spots. The Eagles don't have, but from what we heard, the Eagles don't have another pick.
I'm saying hypothetically, like
the Eagles don't have a pick until like the
Eagles, the Bears, it can be the Cardinals. If hypothetically a running back goes to a landing spot that is open, that is really favorable in a fantasy perspective, they will be an early to mid second round pick with the fourth round draft capital. That's what I've been saying, you know, like that's what is actually happening right now. So I don't know, man. I think we're gonna have to take those chances with some of these guys.
I hear you, but I still stand by what I said, which is that I think this is one of the weakest second rounds I've seen.
I definitely agree. I'm not disagreeing. I'm not disagreeing there.
Yeah. Not do us, but just so you guys know what's happening right now, we're doing a 2023 rookie mock draft. This is for Superflex. It's PPR. It is not tight end premium. So let's go ahead and get this thing started with Han the Man at the 101. We got a super chat. Styles, thank you so much for the super chat, man.
What's up, man?
He says sent the 206 for Love in February. Feels amazing for Jordan Love. Yeah, that's a great pick. He got a lot of help today. He's definitely a winner.
Yeah.
So Bijan Robinson at the 101, no surprise. Anthony Richardson at the 102. You're going to start seeing that more and more often. You're going to start seeing people advocate for Anthony Richardson as the 101. Now, I'm not going to be said people, but you're going to start seeing it, is what I was trying to allude to there.
Exactly.
The quarterbacks are going to go 1-2 to 1-4 in some order, okay? I think most people are probably going to put Stroud as quarterback 3. That's where I currently have him. But it's going to go in that order. I don't see that changing. In fact, I would go out on a limb and say that the top 6 will probably be the same across most leagues. Let's see what Rowan does here. But I have a feeling that the top 6 are going to stay pretty much even keel across all leagues. So Jahmyr Gibbs at the 1-5, and then I would say the last person there would be Jackson Smith and Jigba. To me, that's the top 6 locked and loaded in most leagues. Now, some people might hate the Lions or they might hate the Seahawks and they don't like these landing spots and they go an alternative player, but I think that's how we're going to see it pretty much across all formats.
Yeah, it's definitely it's definitely a mix, right? It's going to be a preference of these quarterbacks in the top 3 and the preference of the wide receivers in the middle round. So I think it can be jumbled from like Bryce, CJ, A. Rich, or Bryce, or CJ, A. Rich, Bryce, whatever the case may be. And then in the middle from the 6 to the 8, it's either can be from Quentin, Jordan, like reverse or however way. Once again, jumbled in many different ways here. I think this is easy.
Yeah, and you know, some of these teams that we are expecting to draft the running back, they could be in the trade market. And I think that's something that we should keep in mind. You know, like the Eagles, like Dalvin Cook could be moving. Derrick Henry could be moving. Joe Mixon maybe. You know, so that's just something to keep in mind. So Zach Charbonnet at the 1-9. The capital is great. This is great draft capital, but the landing spot is truly devastating. You just there's not a scenario in my mind where Charbonnet is going ahead of Zay Flowers. I can't justify that personally.
I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can justify Charbonnet. I would say ahead of Will Levis.
That's a tough one for me, for sure. I
think,
kind of agree at this moment. I would take a shot on Levis over Charbonnet right now.
Yeah, 100%. I think
We've seen second round quarterbacks. We've seen.
the
We'll
thing
talk
is,
about this first round. We've seen Dak Prescott, Jalen Hurts. I mean, keep in mind, we don't have this kind of crazy expectation, but there's not a lot of sexy picks at the end. And if you get a guy like Will Levis, who they did trade up, and he technically was like in every other draft, he would have been the first pick in the second round. So he just barely missed on first round capital. And clearly Ryan Tannehill isn't the answer long term.
I think he's definitely going to find his way onto the field.
You'll know by this year if that's a good pick or not. You'll have your answer.
And I think, and exactly. But for Sharby, I highly question. I know this is early. I highly question if I would take him ahead of Zay, ahead of Will, ahead of. I would argue. I can't argue Jonathan Mingo, but I would argue Devin A-Chain. I would argue maybe even a running back that potentially.
Well, at the moment, I have Levis as my 111.
Mm-hmm.
So exactly where he went. I just wouldn't have had Charbonnet inside that 111.
Yeah. I hear you. I just don't. It's hard. It's capped. They capped each other. Like what happened yesterday. The Monty capped Jahmyr Gibbs or Jahmyr capped Monty. However way you want to word it. It's the same thing with Zach Charbonnet. Charbonnet is capping.
I would say this is worse.
Kenneth Walker. And same thing, vice versa. Like we don't know. Like it's annoying.
I would say this is much worse than what happened yesterday to Gibbs, because you can make up a scenario in your mind in which it makes sense. Them trading Swift away, using Jahmyr Gibbs in a lot of different ways, but when it comes to Charbonnet and Ken, like they're not complementary players. They're very similar. Three little words. Thank you for the super chat, man. He says, both my dads told me to trade for Charbonnet. Well, shout out to both your dads and say, what the hell, dads? What'd you do? All right, let's go ahead and get to the second round. By the way, guys, just want to say a huge thank you for joining us. Do us a massive favor. Go ahead and hit that like button. If we get 300 likes, we're going to guarantee 4 mock drafts tonight, a whole new group of people every single time. Everyone's going to get a chance to join us. So go ahead and do us a favor, smash that like button and help us reach some of these goals that we have for the stream. But let's go ahead and start this second round here. This is where things will get very interesting. I want to see how this plays out. And while we're waiting, Sam, thank you so much for the super chat. Very kind of you. He says, as someone who needs an RB and wide receiver at the 105, 107, and 205, these landing spots outside of Addison haven't been great. Don't know what to do. And the 105, it feels like a great place to be, honestly. But and even the 107, I would extend that. The 107 and the 105, I still like that. The 205, though, has lost a lot of value.
Yeah. Because now you get to this point.
Yeah.
And look who's still not currently. We still don't even have a full 2 rounds. Well, actually, we have Marvin. We have
a lot of options still available of people who have been drafted. But okay, so 8 Kincaid at the 2-1. Honestly,
how we're not taking.
I have been
Mayor here.
I have been pro Dalton Kincaid. I was pro Dalton Kincaid yesterday, making a case for him. We released a video about the landing spots. I think this was their answer to their secondary wide receiver on their team. Like, everyone kept saying, oh, they need to get Addison or they need to get Downs or someone to complement Stephon Diggs. This Dalton Kincaid was their answer to that problem. And I would not be at all surprised if he's a top 12 tight end in year 1. So I think he should be a first-round pick. Given the atrocious landing spots that we have, the first-round draft capital, the landing spot, the connection to Josh Allen, I'm going to say Kincaid, even in non-tight end premium leagues, I think he should be a first-round pick over some of these other options.
Okay. But
at minimum, kind of on the edge, like where he is. A-Chain goes at the 2-2. Love me some A-Chain. I definitely would have picked him if he's available. Kendre at the 2-3. Rashee Rice, and then Josh Downs. So my options here, really, I feel like tight end is the best move here.
I think so as well. I'm surprised this tight end is not off the board right now. I would have taken him over.
I'm guessing it's Michael Mayer, correct?
Yeah, I would have taken him over the 3 players that went right before him. I would say.
Yeah, I mean,
draft capital in the landing spot.
I would love to ask the chat this. Did anyone else hear what Ian Rappaport said when Tajay Spears was drafted? Because right as Tajay Spears was drafted, they had this report on how he has no ACL, no cartilage, and he has what was it?
He said so. Basically, Ian Rappaport said Tajay Spears has no ACL and he had to have surgery to take some cartilage out. But with those reports and with that diagnosis at the time, he was also diagnosed with arthritis. And
so how did you draft a running back like that?
And then he goes, well, we need to see how long he's going to last in the NFL. It's like along those lines.
On his draft day, like
on his draft day.
This is grim.
I'm not taking Tajay, period. Like I'm completely avoiding. If he plays one good season, that's absolutely great. You know, like sell him high. You know, I don't want the injury. I don't want basically, Todd Gurley. This is Todd Gurley at the beginning stages.
Except you didn't have the output that Todd Gurley gave you.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, what? No, thank you. No, thank you. Not for me. Not right now.
This is an incredible comment. Yeah, if he has no ACL, he can't tear it. So joke's on all of you guys. Your running backs are going to tear their ACLs.
Oh man, that's hilarious.
That is funny. So we see Mayer off the board, then Musgrave, Laporta. I'll ask you, Badake, at this very moment, where would you have these guys ranked? For me, I'm still going Michael Mayer, over Sam Laporta. I think he is the better prospect, and I like the landing spot for Michael Mayer better. He's got Jimmy G there. Jimmy G has a long history of success with tight ends. Sam Laporta is going to an offense where there's a lot of weapons ahead of him. Now, he probably is a starter from day one, but you got to compete with Amon-Ra. You got to compete with Jameson Williams. You got to compete now with Jahmyr Gibbs. Who knows what happens with Swift? Whereas with Michael Mayer, it's like, okay, Devontae Adams is there. Outside of that, who's really scaring you off?
Exactly.
Now, we still have to be realistic about year one tight ends, but I'm going Mayer over Laporta at this point.
Yeah, I'm going Mayer over Laporta. I would go Laporta over. It's hard to say right now. I'm a toss between Laporta and Luke Musgrave. I think Luke Musgrave doesn't have as many mouths to feed on his team with Green Bay.
Even though they drafted 2 tight ends, which is so weird.
But Sam Laporta is going to Gibbs, J-Mo, Amon-Ra, Swifty, Monty.
Yeah.
There's a lot of mouths to feed there. So there's so many question marks. But right now, I agree. It's Michael Mayer. I love the landing spot. I think Michael Mayer and Dalton Kincaid are going to be going back to back with each other. And I think, once they come around to, I think he will go ahead of maybe some of these running backs or even Josh Downs here. I'm on the clock here. This is really hard to pick. I'm looking at Marvin Mims, who got picked to the Denver Broncos, which I like the landing spot. And I think that's exactly where I'm going to go. I don't really see anyone else that I like.
I think that's the right pick.
Yeah, and I think this is kind of where it really falls off, I would say, right? And this is what I was saying earlier. What happens if Roscoe goes to the Cowboys in the 4th? We feel a little bit more comfortable maybe taking him.
Maybe, but I mean,
in the middle. Right?
So Rashawn Johnson with 4th round draft capital is not someone that is hurting Tony Pollard. Like, that is a spell running back. That's not someone who's
I hear you. But
taking touches away from Tony Pollard in like a fantasy. Like, there's no scenario unless Tony is injured that Rashawn would be a Dameon Pierce.
I hear you. And I think I'm saying, like, I guess it was just an example because I can put Zach Evans to the Bears. I can put Zach Evans, to a team that needs a running back, to the Cardinals.
Sure.
And I think we have a different conversation. Same thing with Roscoe. Same thing with Izzy. If we put Izzy to one of those teams as well, I think we have the conversation saying, okay, I'm taking those running backs potentially over Hooker, potentially over a Josh Downs in the 3rd, potentially over Rashid. It's hard. It will be hard to have the argument with Rashid, but then Rashid Tillman, right? Like, that's
Tillman
where we
should not be the pick there. I gotta be honest.
That's where we would see the change.
There's a lot better option on the board than Tillman. Tillman going to the Browns is like a death sentence in my mind.
Yeah, I think unlucky for
That's
Donovan Peoples-Jones
that's
believer, I would say.
Jaden Reed, Michael Wilson were the guys I think you could consider around Marvin Mims. And honestly, with Hendon Hooker, are we taking Hendon Hooker above these wide receivers? Hear me out for a second. Maybe Tillman, but Jared Goff is not going to fail in that offense.
No.
Jared Goff is not going to play bad in that offense.
He's going to get an extension. That's my thought process. And he's young. He's what, 29? 29? So he can get another 2-3 year extension. I mean, Gino just got an extension. He's 35. Right? I mean, I think Jared Goff is going to play on this team until he can't play no more or he's not doing enough with his weapons. So yeah.
As we get into this third round here, just want to say thank you again to everyone who has joined us, who's hanging out. We're currently at 198 likes, which is incredible. Thank you so much. The like goal for tonight is 300. There's 390 of you watching, which is incredibly ridiculous.
Huge love, y'all.
Thank you for hanging out. Like we said before, if you're hanging out almost at midnight over there in the United States, we're in Australia right now, so it's 1:43 p.m. But if you're hanging out at midnight, you clearly are obsessed with Dynasty football. You found a community that also is. So consider subscribing. Do us a massive favor. Drop that like. We're trying to get to 300 likes. And if we do, we will pop off 4 guaranteed mock drafts for you right here, right now. Whole new group of people will be able to get in with every mock draft. So let's go ahead and start this third round here. As we see Michael Wilson at the 3-1. I'll say this right now. Michael Wilson will absolutely be a second round pick for me.
Yeah, I would agree.
Absolutely will be a second round pick.
A phenomenal landing spot. Once again, DeAndre Hopkins could be moving. There's no one else really there to compete outside of Hollywood Brown, and I think he can be a really good wide receiver too. So let's see what really happens here with Michael Wilson. And yeah.
Jay says, first time I got to catch you guys live, but I love to listen to you on my hour commute to work.
All right, man. Huge love, Jay.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Sam says, have you ever been to a game? Yes, we have.
Yeah. Well, I went this past year.
Yeah, by the way, we grew up in America, right? Like when I was 19 is when I moved. But I was there my entire life before that. So.
Yeah, and look, John kind of brings up a good thing, like actual good news. No running backs to the Bengals, and I think there are running backs now.
And we've been saying that Mixon could be a real winner here. And
it'd be a real winner for a lot of running backs, right? Let's really think about it. Teams that we were saying, okay, they can draft a running back in the first 3 rounds. The Chargers with Austin Eckler, Joe Mixon with the Bengals, J.K. Dobbins, right? Ramondre Stevenson right now. Dameon Pierce now going into the 4th. Well, obviously they still have to survive the 4th round. I think if they get a 4th round guy, I would say, okay, depending on it. I would say James Cook. I would say Tony Pollard right now. Cam Akers. Rachaad White is a big winner as well.
Bang!
At the very moment,
okay,
right?
Rachaad White feels very good right now if you kept on to Rachaad White. Now, 4th round could still screw us over, but he was going for the 203. And I was telling people, that's exactly what you're looking to get at the 203. Just don't overthink it. Go get Rachaad White. He looks like a great pick right now.
Once again, what if a running back comes in that is...
Yeah, totally.
On paper better.
This time tomorrow, we could be doing a live stream and being like, well, shit.
That's what I'm saying. What if one of your favorites, Zach Evans, Izzy, goes to the Bucks? What happens? What happens there? That's the conversations that I'm scared about tomorrow. We're not right now. We're excited because oh shit, they're alive, right? But at the same time, it really feel sad that they haven't been drafted at the same time. So it's mixed emotions.
Yeah, tricky. I don't know if you're familiar with our channel, but I've been kind of advocating for people to buy Rachaad White for the past 2 or 3 months because his price I thought was really good. It was around the 203, the 204, the 205. And my argument was that's kind of exactly what I think you're looking for at the 203 to the 205 is a running back in his position. So there's definitely got to be someone available here at the 306 that's been drafted. Let me have a look real quick. Okay, so Hyatt goes at the 3-3. Wilson's already gone off the board.
There is definitely one player
okay, I think I'm gonna take a shot on a wide receiver that I don't like this prospect, but he is in a completely naked wide receiver room. Got decent draft capital. I'm talking about Nathaniel Dell. Do I have hopes for Nathaniel Dell to ever be some sort of top 24, wide receiver option in Dynasty? No, I think the percentage chance would be like less than 3% chance that ever happens.
Yeah.
But what do I do here at the 306 outside of that, And when you look at it, Nico Collins, to me, always just been a guy. John Mechie could definitely be the guy who steps up, but Tank Dell has a very clear pathway to opportunities.
Yeah, I definitely see it 100%. Once again, another wide receiver room that is naked for one of these wide receivers to kind of step up into, right? I mean, what happens if we get a Kayshawn going?
Tight end city today. Sorry.
Yeah, Kayshawn going there, Parker Washington, Xavier Hutchinson. I feel like we feel a little bit more confident with the talent, but not the capital, right? So many different things. That is tight end city. I think that's about it, right? I don't think anyone else was drafted.
So
let me double check.
I should actually talk about this. In my mind, when I was scrolling through our board, I saw T with Bigsby, and I thought that was Tajay Spears. That's just a mental mistake. I would be ridiculous not to take Tajay Spears over Tank Dell at the 3-6, even though he has these concerns. In fact, I would say Tajay Spears should probably... you could make a case for him at like the 3-2 over Tank. So, yeah, that's my bad.
Oh, excuse me.
Jacob says, how do you guys feel about Izzy going to Cincy versus Charbonnet? Yeah, there's still a hope for one of these running backs to go to Cincinnati.
Atlanta spot, yeah.
In round 4. But
the landing spot is going to be very favorable. The draft capital is not. That's the problem. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what we're upset about right now.
To me, the Bengals' moves in this draft do not scream that they want to move on from Joe Mixon.
Yeah.
Exactly. I, at this point, would be very surprised. And you and I have been, in our running back ranking videos, we've been talking about Joe Mixon as potentially one of the best values in Dynasty this offseason. Mm-hmm. And that could hold true. That could hold true if he gets through this next couple. I mean, even if they draft someone in the 4th round, that doesn't mean Joe Mixon's irrelevant. Like, he could take a pay cut and he's back like that.
Yeah. I mean, tomorrow's gonna be a big day, and it sucks that for us it's like in the middle of the morning. Because I was
gonna ask actually what time it starts.
I think it starts.
Joey, thank you for the sub, by the way.
Thank you so much, man. I think it starts at like 12 midday for them.
Okay.
So it probably won't be till like 4 o'clock in the morning or something for us. I could be wrong.
Hey, can someone in the chat tell me when day 3 starts Eastern time? And I'll do the math. I'll do the quick math. Guys, 400 people watching the stream. I don't think we hit 400 people yesterday, did we?
I have no idea, but
I don't think I've ever seen that number on a live stream before.
Yeah.
So genuinely, thank you so much for hanging out with us. I'm very glad that you're spending your time with us. Clearly, you love Dynasty football and you're a freak just like us. So go ahead and subscribe if you do enjoy Dynasty. We're going to be doing these mock drafts a lot, a whole lot of content on the channel. So you're in the right spot. Let me see if I can find someone who is drafted but not off the board yet.
Yeah, that's what I did. I don't think there's anyone else that has been drafted. There's probably a tight end actually.
I don't think so. Unless I'm missing something.
I think there is one tight end.
Is that Latu?
Yeah, Latu.
Oops, I didn't mean to make that pick, but
it's okay.
As crazy as it sounds, I don't think I'm drafting Latu.
No, I know. I don't think we're doing that. Strange Latu. Strange.
Strange. Yeah, I forgot about him. What a weird pick that was.
Yeah, tight end, man.
Wasn't that so strange? I mean, his name is Strange, so haha. But that was a weird pick to see him go. And it was in the 2nd round, right? I did not expect that.
What time is noon Eastern for us? Do you know?
Let me do the math real quick. I'm just gonna write down that he went, so I remember this for next time. 2nd round, pick 61.
Let me just I think that's gonna be like 2 o'clock in the morning. I think it's gonna be like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Think of it as like a Monday night game. I mean, Sunday morning. Sunday, like kickoff. Kickoff's at 1. So normally that's 3 o'clock is gonna be 2 o'clock for us.
61. Sorry. I'm hearing you.
I'm hearing it, but I'm not really listening.
I said, give me a second. I'm gonna mark Brenton Strange down.
No.
So noon. Everyone's saying noon. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
So that means that if it's noon, it will start at 2 a.m. for us.
Yes. Yeah.
Which,
2 a.m.
Yeah, I'm not getting up at 2 a.m. to watch the fourth round.
Yeah, it's a lot of disappointment here in day 2 for the NFL draft.
Let's get another one going here. Badake, as I'm firing up this new mock draft, can you tell people in the chat how they can join us?
Join our Discord, link in the description below, and link is also in the chat. Go there, go to DynastyLand, tab with the orange footballs, then go to content releases. That's exactly how you can join this mock draft and maybe the other mock draft we will do right after this one. Once again, join our Discord, link in the description, link in the chat. Go to DynastyLand, tab with the orange footballs, content releases, and that's exactly where and how you can join this mock draft. And I'll send that link right when you send that link.
Yeah, I'm going to keep it to 3 rounds because I don't think we really know what to do in the 4th round yet.
All right, man. I think the running backs, good spots tomorrow. We're taking
Timothy.
Taking them over these people.
We've been talking, Badake and I have been talking about how good this tight end class is. And we've had some interesting comments about some of the mock drafts that we've released with them. But I think you'll see a lot of tight ends in rookie drafts. A lot. Probably I wouldn't be surprised if there's a record amount of tight ends in rookie drafts this year.
All right, that link's out, guys.
Hello, B. Come here.
All right. As everyone joins that one. Oh boy.
Hello. Do you want to say anything about day 2? Any thoughts? No?
Any thoughts?
He's got some 2nd round picks, so he doesn't really want to talk about it. Okay, bud. It's all right. All right, let's go ahead and start this thing.
Start it up. Wow.
Bijan Robinson. Bryce Young.
Yeah, I think for me right now, I would say I would be okay with whichever quarterback you take at the 1-2, the 1-3, the 1-4. I don't actually, if I would have my rankings and I haven't solidified those quarterbacks yet on paper before our whole draft process or our post scouting process. CJ was my 1, but it's really hard to put CJ over Bryce Young and Anthony Richardson, especially with these landing spots at the very moment. But I'm actually just gonna say I'm really happy. Pick your poison, right? Whichever one you want to go with. I think that is where you can go here at the 102 to the 104.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a wrong answer, honestly.
Yeah, I hear you. And if you're at the 104, I don't think you should feel like CJ Stroud is some sort of
like a bad pick. Like, oh
yeah,
I wish
it's not a bad
that.
pick.
I think it's really good. Like, I think it's
the surrounding environment is certainly not as good, but it's not some sort of bad pick or you're gonna whiff. I still think it's worthy of CJ Stroud being there. And it seems like we have consensus. Jahmyr Gibbs, Alfonso, thank you for the sub. It seems like it's consensus at the moment. Jahmyr Gibbs over JSN, at least in the past 2 fantasy drafts or the dynasty drafts that we've done, which very interesting. I'm not saying it's wrong, but I think I'm still going JSN over Gibbs, but I definitely do have Gibbs in my top 6 locked at this moment.
Man, it's so hard to it is so hard to really understand where to put Gibbs. Because I think the argument is for all of these wide receivers, to be honest. I think there's an argument for every single one of them to be
Thanks
over
for the sub, Nick.
But I feel like the community doesn't feel that way.
Yeah, I don't feel that way.
Yeah, which
Top
is fine.
12, like the only reason I'm taking JSN is
crazy.
because I think he's an elite wide receiver prospect. So, outside of JSN, if I didn't feel that way about him, I would also be taking Gibbs over these wide receivers. But But yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. So Kendre Miller at the
Yeah.
110.
They like
A-Chain at the
Kendricks.
111. I was curious to see. Okay, guys. Come on. Okay, hold on for a second.
What happened?
We have to, if we're gonna help you guys out at all today, it's gonna be by telling you cannot let Zay Flowers leave your first round of drafts. I know I brought him as a loser yesterday because the landing spots, it's not ideal. There's a lot of competition. There's no scenario in which we should see Zay Flowers falling out of the first round in this year's draft. No scenario whatsoever. Kendre Miller's a third-round pick. Devin A-Chain's a third-round pick. We got tight ends. Zay Flowers has to be in your first round. Do not let him fall. This is the same way I felt about Jahan Dotson last year.
Thank you, Matt.
When you guys were taking James Cook over some people taking Tyler Algier over Jahan Dotson because the landing spot wasn't good. This is too much. If I can save you from anything, do not let Zay Flowers fall out of the first round. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh gosh, that's hilarious. Someone says, I feel like we all collectively just got brought into the principal's office.
Because I'm looking at this and I'm thinking to myself, like, how... Okay, yeah, so Zay didn't go at the 1-9. Fair enough. Like, someone really likes Kincaid in Buffalo. I can understand that. And then I'm seeing two running backs who I like, but got drafted in the third round. Going ahead of a first-round wide receiver. Again, I'm having flashbacks to last year when Jahan Dotson was falling out of the first round because of his landing spot.
Yeah, I mean...
I said the same thing last year on this stream.
I would also argue that for Will Levis, personally. I don't think Kendre Miller... I wouldn't take Kendre Miller or Devin A-Chain over or Will Levis, personally, right now.
I agree with you.
I think we need to understand maybe the whole narrative. He was going to be a top 10 pick. It sucks, right? And now he was early second, but he's going to a team that the pathway is clear. The pathway is there for him to get onto the field and be successful. Treylon Burks there. They get Peter Skoronski to help this offensive line. And I don't even know what else they did in this draft, actually. What did they do in the third and fourth round? Or second and third round, sorry. So they got Will Levis.
The Titans. Yeah, they got Levis, Tajay, Skoronski.
And Tajay, right, okay. Mm-hmm. Well, unlucky for Will Levis with Tajay.
Sam, thank you so much for the super chat, man. He says, what running back could I sell the 107 for if I take Jason at the 105? I don't think Gibbs goes at the 106 in my league, and I want to be prepared if that happens. Well, if Gibbs is available at the 107, that is like a huge smash. An easy yes. You take Gibbs at the 107. I don't know that I can really answer that question just yet. I can give you an idea, but I'm not sure that I could really give you a good answer on what running back is worth the 107 at this point. I mean, like a very generalized range, like a Javonte Williams, Austin Eckler, Pollard, Harris, Najee Harris, like Chubb, Stevenson. Some of those don't feel comfortable, but I think that's probably the range. Yeah. But yeah. I mean, Jasmine's saying Zay isn't walking. She says Zay isn't walking to the best year one situation. He won't get targets, people think. I mean, Jasmine, so I'm here. If you guys watched the video yesterday, you'll know I literally made a video about how I don't like his landing spot. But at the same time, he should not be falling out of the first round. Both of those things can be true.
Yeah, I said it. I agree. And I think a lot of people are concerned about, you think of OBJ, you think of Rashad Bateman, think of Lamar Jackson running the ball. And, when Zach brought that take, if you definitely go watch that video, because I think we kind of bring a good argument both. It was not even an argument. It's just more the way I'm feeling. Zay may not walk into year one being the best guy, but if OBJ is not signed, Rashad Bateman going into his contract year, they need to protect Lamar, and Lamar needs to be throwing the ball a little bit more instead of running with the new offensive coordinator. I think that's exactly what they were going to do with Zay. creating new things and bringing creativity into this offense. It may not be year one, but I don't think we should be sleeping on him. And if we're drafting Jahmyr Gibbs with a really good draft capital, I think we should be drafting Zay Flowers in the same exact way. Obviously, it's different for a running back, but
right. I mean, yeah,
I think he should be late first for sure. That's
yeah. You and I think maybe just have a difference of opinion on Gibbs then, but I would 100% agree he should not fall in the first round. Zay Flowers, that is. But Styles, thank you so much for the super chat, man. Really, really appreciate that.
Yeah, huge love.
It says, should I trade Deshaun, Christian Watson, Monty, a first and 24 for Fields, London, and a second? It's a 12-team Superflex PPR. Deshaun, Watson, Monty, a 24 first projected late for Fields. Honestly, I wouldn't do that deal. I would keep the Deshaun side. I love Justin Fields. I'm not anti-Justin Fields. In fact, we were one of the only YouTube channels last year who was backing Justin Fields as a buy. And we still feel the same way. But Deshaun Watson is a buy low right now. He's not a sell. And this feels like you're selling, not anticipating Deshaun recovering his form. Keep in mind, every year that he's had an entire offseason to plan as a starter, he's been a top 5 fantasy quarterback. Now, it's unrealistic to just anticipate he's top 5 again. But even if he's a top 8, top 10 scoring quarterback, he will recover his value alongside of that huge contract that he has in Cleveland, huge commitment from the team. So as much as I love Fields, it's clearly an upgrade over Watson. I wouldn't do that deal personally.
I would say that deal is closer than we think. I'm okay to give away Monty here in this scenario. And if this is a projected 24 late first, and I'm okay because I do have Fields higher. I do have London higher than Watson. So if I'm looking at my rankings and I say, okay, what am I getting? I like Fields and London right now. But, Zach does bring up a good argument. Watson with the history, top 5 quarterback. He is a buy low, absolutely. But I also think, Fields, they improve as well. They invest in Darnell Wright, obviously in this round, in the first round of the draft here. So I think this offensive line gets a little bit better. London takes a step up here, especially in my opinion with Bijan Robinson and Desmond Ridder. So I think I'm really happy either way you want to go here. I would say I would go Fields in London in the second. But that's just.
I really don't think that's a good move, but I don't know. I can respect it, but I mean, you don't even know if that 24 first is actually going to be late.
Yeah, and I think that's will be the thing, right?
I have experience in just listening to people and even myself planning out where a pick is going to be. You can't. Injuries happen, and fantasy teams tank. Teams that you thought would win championships tank, and then all of a sudden you gave away what you thought would be the 110 in a good class. We think right next year ends up being the 103, and you're like, what the hell did I do? So I personally think it's not a good trade to do.
I definitely agree with the 24 first because we've both been saying that. So I agree, but I think overall I'm okay with Fields, London, those players. But if you want to take that first out, have a different conversation, or maybe you have a late 23 first that you're happy to move on from, or you don't want, hypothetically. Maybe you don't think that you're going to get somebody in the end of the first. You can do something like that. Here we go. I'm trying to find some stuff about Seahawks.
Did there's some report come out?
Well,
you're on the clock, by the way.
Yeah, he says, I was very surprised he lasted that long because of how quick the two guys, Bijan and Jahmyr Gibbs, went. So when we started this morning, we knew we wanted to take Derek and then Zach. We kind of blew Zach off a little bit. I don't understand what that means. So people thought that Zach Charbonnet was going to be gone in the... Well... I'm trying to understand. This is like a weird tweet.
Well, do you want to make a pick?
Sure, I can make a pick. Another loser here, I would say I'll draft him here. I'm probably not going to be taking him, but Darnell Washington, excuse me. I don't love the landing spot. Don't love how he's going to fit there. I think this is clearly just another big body guy coming in and helping the offensive line. And maybe he does leak out 1 or 2 plays, but Pat the Dragon over there, Pat Frymuth, is clearly going to be demanding targets over him, in my opinion. Don't love the landing spot. Don't love the capital, a guy that fell tremendously. All these other tight ends were taking over him as well. So I'll take him here just so we can have a little conversation. But I actually don't know how you feel about that because we haven't really spoken about that, especially while we were watching
yeah,
the
I have
draft.
no interest.
Yeah, same.
I have no interest anymore. Yeah, I don't think I'll have any.
Yeah, I wouldn't have any in him either. I don't want it. You're on the clock, by the way.
I am on the clock. Yeah, I don't know what to do here. Like you guys tell me. Tucker Kraft, double tight ends. I mean, think about it. Like Tucker Kraft was drafted. Wasn't it in the same round? Just later picks. I could be misremembering that, but anyway. They went double tight end in Green Bay. I fully anticipate them trying to establish the run with those veteran running backs. Watson's going to be their feature, and then I think you're going to see these tight ends worked in. Was it second and third? Yeah, I can't remember. It's all a blur at this point.
Yeah, it is all a blur.
It was all a dream.
Let me pull it up here. Luke Musgrave in the second, and Jaden Reed in the second, and then they went Tucker Kraft in the third.
Okay. All right, let's get another mock draft going for you guys here today. We'll get a whole new group of people. While I'm setting it up, Badake, can you tell people how they can join in case there is any newcomers to the stream?
Link in the description and link in the chat. Join our Discord. Go to Fantasyland tab with the orange footballs. Go to content releases. That's exactly where I'll be posting the link here for you guys. Let's continue having conversations. Let's continue really trying to figure out what the hell is going to happen. This is actually really helping me. I don't know if it's helping you
same.
guys.
No, I agree 100%.
Like,
it's helping me as well.
The more like you take a wrong person, you'd be like, okay, I probably wouldn't do this in a real draft, or maybe this person is a bit too high, or maybe not, so this is actually really helpful. Hopefully it's helpful for you guys. Once again, link in the description, link in the chat. Go there. I'll pick here. Go there and I'll post the link here in content.
Badaki's going to send that link off now, but if you guys can do us a massive favor, go ahead and smash that like button. We're trying to hit 300 likes. There's 322 people watching, so I'm not very good at math. But I believe quick math would say if everyone smashed the like button right now, we could get to 300. Whole new group of people in here, so let's go ahead and start this thing off. Let's see. Flame Impala here at the 101. And I put myself at the 107. When is our home league drafting, Badake? Mr. Commissioner.
Well, I need to fill some new people up, so...
Who's leaving?
Ilioy said he's gonna
leaving
because he's having a baby. And then Burndy is also wanting to jump out. So I need to see if anyone else is gonna be out there. I don't know who else is gonna play fantasy. That's like
close friends.
Yeah, close friends. I don't got that many friends.
Can't believe Ilioy's leaving.
I'll take Anthony Richardson. I need to practice taking one of these guys over CJ. I need to make sure it's right in my gut, in my beans. Like
you're saying your beans?
My beans, like my beans.
What beans are you referring to?
Like my balls and my balls. Right, I feel good in my balls. Me taking a Rich.
I've never heard someone refer to them as beans.
Well, I was trying to be family friendly here, but.
So you were going to say balls, but you were afraid. So you switched up to beans.
I switched up to beans. Cojones.
I'll take Quentin here. I'll take Quentin at the 1-7. Addison goes at the 1-8. And, again, I feel like if you have a top 8 pick, you should feel very good. Thanks for the sub, A89.
Thank you.
If you have a top 8 pick, I think you should feel fantastic. If you have a top 9, I just don't want Zay Flowers to be the one that falls, even though I still think he should be the 1-9. I don't think he should be lower than 1-9. Just be clear. But I think that top 8, you should feel great.
Yeah.
But from the like 110, maybe, yeah, I mean, really from the 110 onwards, there's just a lot of question marks, a lot of unknowns, a lot of concern.
Yeah, man. This is what I would say right now. There should be, I would say there's a quarterback and a tight end that can go off the board, or a running back that can go off the board. Okay. I still wouldn't take him over the quarterback. Are you taking Will Levis over Dalton though? I think I'm taking Will over Dalton right now. As much as I love the theory,
I think at the moment I am going Dalton over Will, because I think I feel maybe we just see Dalton slightly differently. I'm not sure. Maybe it's Will. I think they're back to back, but I'm going Dalton because I think Dalton has a much higher chance to be a successful fantasy contributor than Will. Now, you can make the argument, Bean's going crazy. You can make the argument that Will has higher upside if he hits, but I think Kincaid truly, in like a year, he could be considered like one of these top 3 to 4 tight ends in Dynasty. In that offense, with the receiving threat that he shows he can be. So it's very close. Yeah, Bean did not like that take at all.
Sure. Bean disagrees with that take. I think
we argue, me and Bean.
I definitely I'd see the scenario of Dalton really stepping up and like becoming this guy, like, the Travis, the Andrews of the world, the Dallas Gollets of the world. But yeah, I think the upside there with Will is great, and yeah, you may sit on it for a year, but
I think he's a much, I don't want to say much because I'll get roasted, but I think he's a better receiving prospect than Goddard ever was.
Right. Okay. I mean, I guess I have to take Sharpie here, right? I mean,
3 little words. Thanks for the super chat, man.
Thank you so much.
He says, please do one quarterback. My dad's have beans in your vice grip. What? Hey, help us reach 300. If we get 300 likes, I promise you we'll do a one quarterback next. That's our goal. So if you help us reach our goal, we'll continue the content. Just keep in mind, guys, the 2 videos that we posted last night, we made them right after we were live. And basically my day looked like waking up at 7 a.m., going to bed at midnight, and just nonstop stream, edit, content creation, script. So it's just a crazy day. But we love it. We live for this stuff. So Mingo at the 2-1, Mayer at the 2-2, Charbonnet at the 2-3, Miller at the 2-4, Rashee Rice at the 2-5. Look, the early second it's not awful, but it's certainly the weakest I can remember. God, what do you do with Charbonnet, dude? Honestly, like,
I don't know what to do with Charbonnet. I feel like I could not.
The draft capital is just so good.
I think you can't pass him up still, but
yeah, I know.
Once again, hypothetically, I know this is how your favorite player, not your favorite player, one of your favorite players, Zach Evans, goes to the Bears, has a really good opportunity. He goes to the best landing spot possible that is left. Are you taking him over Zach Charbonnet? Because I think that's going to be the scenario we come to.
I don't think so.
No, so no way you'll be able to take him over Zach Charbonnet.
If Zach Evans goes in the 4th round, will I take him over Charbonnet, who went in the 2nd? No.
I hear you.
I know that it's a better situation, but no, I wouldn't do that.
So right now, once again, scenarios that are still out there.
Patrick, thank you for the donation, man. Very kind of you.
Thank you so much.
He says London versus JSN. I'm pretty sure that would have been the question that he had. For me, it's JSN and before the draft, and it's JSN after the draft. I don't know if that would have changed for you, Badake, or where you stand, but I would still go JSN.
Yeah, I have, let me double check here. I have my rankings up right now. I don't. It's still pretty fresh to me. I have Jason over London. Yes, I do have Jason over London.
Yeah.
Landing spots still that I think are still good for running backs. All depends on who that running back is, obviously. Bears, Cardinals.
By the way, Badake, just while we're on a stream with how many people here? 318, which is
Vikings.
Incredible. We are currently 43
Here we go.
subscribers away from 7,000.
Thank you so much.
43 subscribers away from 7,000. It would be awesome if we could hit 7,000 on tomorrow's stream, because we will be live after round 4, 5. Sorry, yeah. Is it 4, 5, 6, 7? Holy shit, yeah. It's all those rounds. But we will be live. So it'd be awesome to hit the 7,000 mark there, but you guys can help us get there. If you like Dynasty, maybe you've been a lurker for a long time. I do that as well. I just watch YouTube, and if I watch someone and I like them, it just keeps coming up on my feed, and I don't even realize I'm not subscribed to them. So if you're a lurker or it's your first time, regardless, if you like Dynasty, go ahead and subscribe. Help us get to that 7K mark. Appreciate the love. Appreciate the support. I can already see that we went up 3. So, I mean, right now we're actually... math is hard. 39 subs away. So appreciate you guys. Thanks for the love and for the support.
Yeah, huge love, y'all. Thank you so much. It's awesome to see everyone here. And this is where we, once again, the more we do these drafts, the more we're kind of seeing things shaking up here. Josh Downs going into the late second here. Marvin Mims late second. Tajay Spears falling a little bit. And these tight ends here coming to life.
Yeah.
Jalen Hyatt, baby, New York Football Giant.
I'll say this: if you like Josh Downs, if you like Michael Wilson, if you like Cedric Tillman, I'm not saying I do, but and of course I do like some of these players, right? If you liked Tank Dell, these players that we weren't sure where they would go or what sort of capital they would get, they are not these type of prospects that are going to rise, even though they maybe should. So if you're big fans of those players, I mean, Jaden Reed was selected before a lot of people who just went off the board, and he's still available. You know what I mean? Like, if you were high on one of these sleepers, this is probably a good draft for you to take a shot on that sleeper in the late second rounds. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, I hear you.
Hello, Buck. Wanna come here?
Okay, Sean, booty. Looks like gonna be a 4th round.
Where's his collar? Oh wow, his collar's there. He's just.
Be careful. Thank you for the sub, man. Imagine naming a dog Bean. My beans.
Any sleepers?
You should get another one.
R.I.P. Kobe.
You should get another dog and call it the exact same dog and call it like
Bryant. So I could say Bean Bryant.
Brian Bean.
No,
or
Bean
like
Bryant. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of another bean. What's a chickpea? Or like a black bean. You should get a black dog and call it Black Bean.
Bean and Black Bean. He doesn't like being held like this. He won't even look at me in the eye. Look, he will refuse to look at me in the eye if I hold him like this. He wants. Oh, hello, hi.
Bean and Black.
Okay.
Imagine.
Camera shy. Okay, I don't want you.
Blaze is out living her life. She's chilling. Blaze always goes out. I'm always here with y'all.
Yeah, Bean and Blaze do need to meet. I mean, they probably would have by now, but you moved to Newcastle.
Shout out to Newcastle. Newcastle dog.
Yeah, Lightskin, I do like Josh Downs' landing spot. Only thing I worry about is the offense, because I would imagine that offense is going to be very run focused. And I'm not sure there's going to be much volume, but I do agree the landing spot is good.
Yeah, I think
as far as the competition around him.
One thing I would say
doesn't
is
seem like a high passing volume offense.
I wonder, once again, if we think of the upbringing of Anthony Richardson and Jalen Hurts and how that was happening over Shane Steichen. If he does, it may not be a good year one for Josh Downs, but hopefully year 2 takes a step and they re-sign Michael Pittman and Josh Downs is here and he can play the slot role, and they can get a little bit creative in the offensive side. I think we can see that. So let's hope and wait and see what that looks like for Josh Downs. But if there's any hope, it's over there.
Yep. Hey guys, if you want to see one more mock draft tonight, our like goal is 300. We are currently 29 likes away.
You like
so
that?
If 29 people go ahead and like the stream who haven't yet, we'll pop off one more mock draft for you guys tonight. Otherwise, we might call it, just because we do have a lot of content to record. So when you guys wake up, you got videos to watch about Dynasty and how this impacts the Dynasty landscape. We're going to have winners and losers from day 2. And we have another video idea. I'm not sure if we'll make that video today or tomorrow. Why don't I go ahead and ask the chat right now, actually. I had an idea to give you Dynasty rankings based off the players that we currently... who have currently been drafted. But should I wait? Should we wait to do that video until after day 3? I don't know.
I personally would say we probably should, because we should wait.
Okay.
Because I don't think we have enough information to actually give what we truly want to say. That's what I would say. And I think that's based off of these running backs, based off these wide receivers, because we were hoping and expecting a lot of these players to be gone by today, and it's still not. They're still not. So I think there's not enough information. But
I hear you. I kind of want to make a video on Charbonnet. But I guess we'll be talking about him a lot on the channel.
Yeah. Well, definitely, I think the individual ones potentially can definitely be after.
Yeah.
After tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can figure it out.
Just so you guys know what's coming out. When you guys wake up, you'll put your head down to sleep tonight. We'll be working. We'll be grinding. When they're sleeping, we're grinding. When they're grinding, we're grinding.
When you're grinding, I'm sleeping. So weird.
When you guys are sleeping, we're going to be working on content. And we're going to be releasing winners and losers from round 2. So make sure you watch that video when it comes out tomorrow morning, your time. And after day 3, we're going to give you a video where we give rankings and tiers for the entire class. The day after that, we'll be giving you running back and wide receiver rankings from the rookie wide receivers and rookie running backs. On Tuesday, for all the one quarterback gang, we'll be releasing a one quarterback mock draft video.
Yep.
We're going to be talking about must-add taxis on the channel. We're going to be talking about breakouts at the position, instant opportunity rookies that you should avoid.
Yep.
So make sure you subscribe to the channel. Again, as we mentioned just previously, we are now 34 subscribers away from 7,000, which is incredible.
Huge love, guys.
So
thank you so much.
If you've been lurking for a while, or you're brand new and you like Dynasty, subscribe to the channel. Even if you think we're idiots, subscribe so you can tell us and you can get your opinion across and you can be a part of the community, okay? We have plenty of people like that who are commenting on the videos. No, you're no idea what you're talking about. That's fine. We welcome everyone's opinions. If you like Dynasty, this is the place to be. But thanks so much for joining us. Drop a like on your way out. And honestly, Badake, it's not going to take us long to do a one quarterback one. Let's set it 30 seconds and we'll do 2 rounds.
Even though we didn't hit the like goal, we're doing it for the people.
We're doing this for the people. We're doing it for
Just
the
remember
one
that.
quarterback gang out there. I want you guys to remember this tomorrow when we probably don't do it if we don't hit the like goal.
Lay your head.
Okay, Dynasty PPR. It's 30 seconds on the clock. Okay.
If you guys want to join this mock draft, join the link in the description. Go in our Discord. Go there. If not, go to the link in the chat. That's also going to be in the chat here in a second, on which I'll put. Give me a second. Well, Zach already put it. Actually, so link in the description. Join our Discord. Link in the chat as well. Go to the Fantasyland tab with the orange footballs and go to content releases. That's exactly how you can join this mock draft. And if you're not into one quarterback, maybe give the one quarterback gang people there. And if it doesn't fill up, then join. Okay. And once Zach sends that link,
Okay.
which he just did,
I did send it. Yep.
I will send that in the chat as well. Let me join. I think this is like here. I feel like that can really spice.
A lot of
things
people
up.
having conversations about Charbonnet in the chat, and
There you
it's understandable. Everyone's still digesting. So, you know, it'll take a second for people to digest. And,
Yeah.
you know, I'll just say this as well, Badake. It's okay for people to have instant reactions and for those reactions to change and for opinions to form. That's just life, okay? So if you're out there and you're finding yourself very stuck, listen to us, listen to Mason, listen to Fantasy Stock Exchange Endgame, listen to whoever you like in the industry, okay? And combine that with your opinion, your beliefs, and take some time. It's okay in 2 days from now if your opinion on a prospect and a landing spot changes, all right? So nothing is set in stone unless, of course, you're doing your rookie drafts, and you better damn figure out what you want to do. We actually have our first rookie draft
next week.
It's actually really soon.
It's
our
next
first
week.
rookie
I think
draft,
it's on
which
Wednesday.
we're about less than 3 days away from now.
With the community,
by the way, guys, all the way through May until mid-June, you're going to see real live rookie drafts on this channel, 2 a week. So I'm pretty sure we're all going to love that as well. One quarterback, and let's start this thing off.
Let's do what we do and let's do it best. Understood?
Bijan Robinson. I still can't believe he's actually an Atlanta Falcon.
You love to see it, man.
That's just crazy. That's chaos.
Here we go. Jameer Gibbs.
Newsflash says, who is a better prospect, Kenneth Walker or Charbonnet? Like, honestly, I think Kenneth Walker was a better prospect, but it's not far off. Like, I don't think that you could realistically put these guys in separate tiers as prospects. They're both very good prospects.
Yeah, I would agree. It's tough. It's tough now to really figure out their value. One of the biggest things that we're going to have to figure out is their value. Where are we going to be ranking, not Jameer Gibbs, but where are we going to be ranking Kenneth Walker? You know, before this, Kenneth Walker was my RB3, RB4. Now, can he even be in my top 7, top 8? Is he even a top 10? Like, these are questions I'm still asking myself, and really trying to figure out. I mean, how high how high is Shaq Charbonnet going to be in my rankings, right? Like, I'm still going through this whole process of really trying to project.
They both definitely fell in my rankings, but something that we would never suggest is panic selling at any point.
Yeah,
you know, so that would be if you have Walker, if you have even Montgomery, as crazy as that sounds, Swift. If you have, who else got screwed over? At the end of the day, just don't panic sell. That's the worst time to be selling. It's just not good, and you're gonna find yourself, just in a difficult position if you operate like that in Dynasty. Yeah, Swift hasn't been traded yet. Still could happen. It might have to happen after the draft. Who knows? Ethan, what's up? He says, new to Dynasty, but acting as a commish for a league with my friends who also have 0 Dynasty experience. Do rookie drafts usually happen directly after the draft? You know, the great thing about Dynasty is you can have it however you want. Like, if you want your rookie draft, some people are going to be doing let's put it this way. There are some people who have already done their rookie draft. You know, those psychotic people who think that they are better scouts than the NFL.
Imagine.
And they just know where people are going to go. A lot of people have already done their dynasty drafts, which I think is crazy. Like, even if you are an incredible scout, you're not going to know what the NFL is going to do or how to value players yet. So what do you guys want to do? Like, just decide as a league. If you're the commish, what I would do is I would just put a poll out and I would give a couple options. Do we want to draft the week after the NFL draft? Do we want to draft a month after? A month before the real the NFL starts? Somewhere in between. So give people options. There's no wrong answer outside of, in my opinion, before the NFL draft. Thanks for the sub, Notorious.
Appreciate you.
But to me, like, Badake, I don't know if you disagree, but the only wrong answer is doing it before the NFL draft, unless you just, everyone in your league thinks that they're, the best scout.
Yeah. I think, what I think what is great to do is do it right after the NFL draft. And I would say give yourself grace this year because you guys are new. So give yourself like a month or two and just kind of understand these players, understand how the process works. But next year, the year after, going into your second year, I would say you should do it a week or two after the NFL draft because a lot of things change, right? People that are hypothetically are taking Kendre Miller in the middle of the second round, and then Alvin Kamara is no longer on this team, and then his value skyrockets, and you kind of have those opportunities where maybe you thought about that, right? Over some of your league mates. So there's so many different opportunities to take here and different ways to kind of set up your draft. But give yourself grace this year. Give yourself a month or two, and then do it.
Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, I hope that's helpful.
Talk it up, ATJ.
And congratulations to you and your friends who have decided to start playing Dynasty, because Dynasty is addicting, and once you get in, you don't want out. So Jaden Reed goes at the 210. That's a pretty good value pick there, considering he was a second round pick. That was very surprising to me.
Yeah,
I did not expect Jaden Reed to go in the second round.
Jaden Reed was like,
isn't he a fifth-year player?
Yeah, and he was like the second wide receiver in the second round, wasn't he?
Like, we heard a lot of smoke around Mingo. That doesn't surprise me as much. But Jaden Reed as the second wide receiver in the second round was, and that high, pick 50.
Yeah,
that was a real shocker to me.
This looks like a Tutu Atwell type vibe, like.
I don't think so.
He might just be a kick returner, but.
I disagree.
I like him. Yeah, I'm saying like it feels that way. I'm not saying like it's going to be. It's just getting like that vibe. Like, oh, okay, a bit early. Why'd you do that? Right.
I think the difference. I don't know. I don't think like the profile is completely different. He's 6 foot, 185 pounds. Tutu was like what, 160, 155.
Yeah, Tutu was really small. Same thing. Like it's kind of similar to Tank.
I can see him being a successful like wide receiver 2/3. In the NFL, but the capital is like gives you hope for more. I'm just gonna pull up our draft guide, our Dynasty draft guide. I want to remember who I compared him to. Just give me a second if that's okay, because I think this is more relevant now. Looking at this with hindsight and remembering back to when we scouted him. Let me see. Who did I have? Jaden Reed. I was definitely low on him. Jaden Reed. My comp for him was a poor man's Jahan Dotson.
Poor man's Jahan Dotson.
Yeah, poor man's Jahan Dotson. I expected him to go in the 5th round, and he went in the 2nd. My floor comp for him is like Devin Duvernay is what I wrote. But really, it comes down to what Green Bay thinks about him.
Yeah.
So. Hey, Irv Smith actually is a huge winner now that I think about it.
A lot of these things, I mean, Jake Ferguson, we'll talk about him a little bit later in the video. I'll bring him. But yeah, Jake Ferguson is a huge winner today as well. I would say I'm not necessarily worried about the tight ends that they drafted here, which was Luke Shoemaker. I know it was a second round draft capital, but maybe I need to reevaluate. But I'm not concerned, but I'm not ecstatic, because
That's 2 rounds earlier than Ferguson.
Yeah, I definitely hear it. So let's wait and see.
Player profilers comparing Jaden Reed to Stephon Diggs. I mean, okay, that's tough. That's a tough one. No comment.
We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'll say the tough thing about tight ends, guys, as well is like go look at George Kittle's stats in college. This is something that you learn over time scouting the tight end position. Production matters probably the least of any positional weapon. If I think of running back, wide receivers, tight ends, like production is important, but it's not the end all. The intangibles and the size, the athleticism, that is all typically much more important for teams when they're, assessing prospects. But, a lot of your favorite tight ends wouldn't have put up big, huge numbers in college, is what I'm trying to say. So it's funny because you start scouting and then, you look at wide receivers in college and you're like, oh, dang, these guys aren't putting up huge numbers. But in general, that doesn't really typically happen in college like it does in the NFL. Then you look at tight ends and you're like, okay, what the hell? I mean, for example, Luke Musgrave, who was injured, but Luke Musgrave was drafted that high and he had like 10 receptions this year, right?
No.
But of course, a lot of that has to do with his injury. But anyway, just trying to explain that this is why you see random tight ends come out of nowhere and end up being superstars. I mean, Luke Musgrave's best ever season was 22 receptions. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you.
It's much more the athleticism, the frame, than anything else when it comes to scouting tight ends. I was just going to look at Kittle's best year, 22 receptions, 300 yards in college. So they're tougher to scout is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I hear you. I definitely hear you, man.
Yeah.
Just we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens with some of these guys.
But anyway, that's it for today, guys. Just want to say a huge thank you for joining us. And if you subscribe today, thanks for subscribing. Appreciate you. What I can promise you, if you're a brand new subscriber, is that we will say something in the future that you don't agree with, or that we're wrong on. We're all getting better each and every day, and we're all becoming better Dynasty players. For Badake and I, scouting better process. But we are committed to building a incredible community, trying to be open to feedback, and just creating a space where everyone can bring their opinion. We're not going to always agree with you guys. We might disagree, and you might disagree with us, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But if you like Dynasty, if you like, a community where you can talk about things, if you like consistent content, entertainment 720.
Entertainment 720. Entertainment 1080. What you mean?
You're in the right place. So do us a massive favor as we head off. Thank you for the likes. 307 likes. Drop a like on your way out. We will be live tomorrow.
Gotta figure out what time that is, because I feel like the NFL draft might be finished before.
I know. I thought about that.
We even wake up. So I wonder if I feel like we should go live, but maybe we get up earlier.
Yeah, we'll have to think about that. I don't know. I wonder how long the NFL draft is actually going to go for, day 3.
Because now we have
how many picks will be made?
4, 5, 6, 7. So you have 4 rounds and they're 5 minutes each with maps. And there's 30,
so if it starts at 12
teams.
noon, does anyone know like roughly when it will end?
Harmon says 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Do you think 5 to 6?
Which would be like, so if that's 2 o'clock our time, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
We can just set a time and then just commit to that time. If we say we're gonna go live at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we can just do that. You know.
Yeah, we could. But then it would be 2 hours after the NFL draft, and then are people going to be like, oh well, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll talk about it off stream. But anyway, thanks guys for watching. If you subscribed today, thank you for joining.
Yeah, huge
Currently,
love.
29 subs away from 7K. But thanks for hanging out with us. Last thing I'll say is if you want rankings, if you want advice, exclusive content, articles, maybe you're not an article guy like myself. Maybe you want bonus content. Well, there's bonus content there. There's draft guides, everything and more over on flockfantasy.com. Use our code LAND when signing up to get 30% off your membership. If you choose the Mother Flocker tier, again, you'll get 30% off. And on the Mother Flocker tier, this is so 139 ends up being like 97 with our code.
Yeah.
Yearly, and then monthly ends up being 16 with our code. But you'll unlock all the rankings from everyone, the articles, the bonus content, and then from us, you'll have one of your Dynasty teams graded. You'll unlock the entire Discord, the largest fantasy/Dynasty Discord in the world. You'll unlock the Dynasty Trade Show, where you'll get your trades on our weekly show. You'll unlock the Fantasy Hotline and a bunch more. So feel free to DM us if you do sign up. We'll make sure that you're all good to go. But outside of that, thanks for joining. Have a good rest of your night. We'll see you guys tomorrow. All love.
Love.